Hello, everyone. Who is over there? Mia Perez, please. Hello, everyone. You can hear me, right? Can you hear me? Yes. Good morning. There is Mia, Saul, Fer. Hello, Gaetan. Mm, uh, Elena Martinez. I don't know who's Elena. Okay, sorry. Valeria, uh, Angie. Okay. Renee, Flor, Melanie, Andrea, Laura. Okay, good morning, guys. Great. Can you listen to me? Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Yes, very good. Thank you. Thank you. Hello. Good morning, guys. Okay, today we are going to start. The time is flying, so we have to move a little, let's say, with the information, make it a little dynamic. Yes, here we are. Let me see if I can. Let me see. Yeah. Now, the expression of the day today is this is today's expression, a boom steer. When do we use a boom steer? A boom steer is an expression that you use when you discover that somebody gave you a boom steer, or that is like they gave you a bad tip, bad information, a bad idea, a bad let's say suggestion about what to do, maybe about a situation when they tell you, you know what, this brand of a computer is very good. You have to buy it. Then you go and buy it, and then find out that that it doesn't cover your necessities, right? It's not what you expected, and also maybe it was very expensive, right? This is like an expression that is used in Spanish. An expression that is used in Spanish is cat for hare or cat for rabbit. Yes, that is that they give you something that doesn't cover the expectations that you had. Okay, a boom steer. Let me read you some sentences. One sentence, an example says, "That was a boom steer you gave me." Mike complained. "I bought a stock you recommended and lost a lot of money." Yes, so that is that they gave him a bad recommendation. Another number two says, "This isn't what we asked for." Uh, Tom said, somebody gave you a boom steer. I mean, somebody gave you a bad recommendation. Another is, would I give you a boom steer? Harry demonstrated, or Harry answered, replied, "I'm your friend, and I give you only good advice to my friends." Yeah, okay. A boom steer is something that doesn't represent the ideal. This is the drawing. Okay, that's a boom steer. That is the expression for the day. Now, during the weekend, or well, yes, at the end of the last week, I I send you this activity. It was a listening activity, and we were working on the book. Here we are with this book on page 141. Page page 141. Page 141. And this was the pyramid, Freytag's pyramid. What is Freytag's pyramid? According to the listening, Freytag's pyramid, he was this was an investigator that used to analyze books. Yes, used to look for stories, books that let you or gave you from the literature good stories. He analyzed many books and then he studied, read the books, and he made a classification. Well, he made a division. This division from a book, it was the parts, the most important parts in a book. No, sorry, my nose is blown. If I sneeze, don't worry. You don't need to run. Now, this pyramid, he classified the books in a pyramid, into a pyramid. This pyramid gave you the sense of the sense that it was a beginning, the middle part, and the ending. In between, there were two more sections. I mean, he didn't classify the paragraph from in which happened always the meeting of the person. Sometimes the stories began in reverse. Sometimes the story began with a climax. Sometimes, yeah, okay. But he found out that even though the books, the stories, no matter how they began, they had a sequence, and the sequence that he found out was. Let me show you this sequence. The sequence. This is Freytag's. Yes, the sequence in Freytag's pyramid he found to be first at the beginning of the story, it was the exposition. Number one, the exposition. That's how the books introduce the characters. Yes, in the exposition they introduced the relationships between the characters or the persons that interact in the book in the story. Then the exposition was that saying the most of the information that they could in this section. After that, yes, they started with the racing action. The racing action was the when the story began to get dramatic, right? They exposed the problematic that the person was going to face, the racing of the action. It was the explanation of the problems or situations that were going to be part of the whole story. Yeah, but the main the main idea, let's say. But the climax, what is the climax? The climax meant that the person had, in this case, in the climax, it was the moment in which the person maybe was confronting the difficult situation. The climax was the moment in which the reader, in this case, we're talking about books, the climax was the moment in which the reader found more exciting, where when the reader was more stressed, under a lot of stress, trying to consume the book. This is an investigation that they did in the 1800s, at the end of the 1800s, and beginning of the 1900s. I mean, this classification is very old. Actually, this classification from the books, they have to do with modern books, with the modern stories. I mean, they have to have it, right? Because otherwise they wouldn't have a way to get the attention from the reader. Now, once the climax in which the story was there was the part of the facing of the main character, the hero of the story, was trying to find a solution for the problem, was facing the problems here, like as we said before, facing the problem here first, the introduction, the presentation of the character, then the raising of the actions, little by little, gradually, it got you into something, into a story. Maybe from this part and this part, they introduced who was the good guys of the story or the bad guys of the story. Then from here on to the climax is when there was Was a fight maybe, or the discovery of part of the truth? Yes, because not all the truth was discovered here. Imagine if you discover all the truth in the part of the climax, then you don't read the rest of the book, like in those books from Harry Potter, for example, right? You have to get to the end of the book in order to find out who is who made some actions. These authors, for example, in the one I mentioned about Harry Potter, they they hid the truth from until the end of the story. Very clever, right? Because then people had to read everything, so they change all the information. After the climax, what happens? Okay, first there was a raising of the action, raising of the stress, raising of the climax, right? Until you get to the climax, and then after everything begins to lessen. Like, okay, now maybe in the following action is when the bad guys, maybe they are going to pay for the villainies, you know, right? For the bad actions. They pay, they are caught maybe, or they suffer the reward, the negative reward that they had to have. Finally, the resolution. What happens in the resolution? In the resolution, they had to find the complete, let's say, the fixing of all the problems. Maybe it was the moment in which the person was let's say, rewarded maybe with money, maybe rewarded with the love of the princess, it could be, yeah. Or the resolution was when the mother and father found the son, or I mean, the happy ending of the story in this case, the happy ending. This is the important situation here. So we have five. I mean, summarizing, we have five parts in a book, according to Freytag's pyramid. Then it was first the exposition, where the characters are introduced, raising of the action, when the situation begins to start, yes, when the problems begin to appear, and we know what the hero is going to face. Then the climax, in which is the main story, in which everybody is getting angry, everybody is dying. It's like the interest of the reader is increasing, then falling when the resolution, from here to the resolution, the interest begins to, or not the interest, is the emotion begins to get decrease, or everybody begins relaxing. Like in this action, maybe you say, "Oh, finally, justice! How good that the good guys they got the best of the story right here." And in the resolution, this is exposition, rising action, climax, falling action, and resolution. These were the answers for the listening that I sent to you. Let me see comments. Um, ah, sorry. I because I click on the alarm in which it says postpone instead of stop, and then it's gonna sound one more time. Okay, now this is so the pyramid that we have to fill in the book. Okay, the listening I sent you, it was a little more complicated, but the idea was not to make you feel stressed or sad. The idea was that you worked a little hard for this ability, which is what I want you to. I send you the link with the information. I sent you the link with the audio. It's an audio that you have to listen one, two, three times in a day, right? So you improve your listening abilities. That's what it is. Now, any questions? No questions? Okay. Now, here we have this in the second section, second part. Here is where you have to fill out with these five sections. Sections for the classification of the books. Anybody can have any kind of book in the house. What books do you have? Question. Question. Here is the question. What what books before we go? What books do you read? What books do you have in your house? English or Spanish, it doesn't matter. The important now, and especially in these days, I'm sure that you read everything, even the publicity that they send you to the door, right? Yes, the books where they announce all the stores from the neighborhood, from the shopping malls. I'm sure that you read all that information. But what books do you have for reading, for pleasure? Right there. What books do you have? Wattpad? No. Okay, Canterville's Ghost. Oh, good. That's a good book. Canterville's Ghost. What else? What else? Books. What other books do you read? Hmm. You don't have books. It's important to have books, especially in these days. Maybe it's a habit. Maybe it's a habit that you can reinforce for pleasure. Nobody's forcing you. Maybe okay. Firelight, Anna Frank are very good. That's a good book. Okay, okay. How um, how about this online? How about books online? I mean, yes, I know. I mean, I'm talking about sometimes books that we read physical, but physical books. But that's my generation, right? I have bunches of books over there, right? But online, maybe you have read many books. What books have you read online? Maze Runner are very good. Maze Runner. Uh, yeah, no problem. Spanish or English. Spanish or English. No problem. What books? What books? Well, yes, you have to pay. Yeah, yes, you have to pay for a book online. Yes, but well, the same you have to pay for a book, physical book. Okay, 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 guys. Today we finish. Thank you. Thank you. We finish. See you on see you on Wednesday. See you on Wednesday. Bye.